Pastors and religious officials in Kenya are angry. They are very angry, and they say that a bill proposed by the president, which is supposed to be in parliament, to regulate religious institutions such that extremism can be reduced or curbed in Kenya. They said this bill should not be passed, and that they will go on strike if this bill is passed. They said this bill is coming from the pit of hell, that nobody has a right to regulate religious institutions. That if that regulation must be done, the religious people are the ones who are to draft the bill and propose that any decision to regulate churches in Kenya, according to these pastors, filled with some of them quacks, and those who are not going to pastor school, are saying that this bill must not pass. Dear President Ruto, this bill must pass. This bill must pass. Because I've been in Kenya and I know what is happening. It's like Nigeria. Any Tom and Dick just get the Bible and go and open a church. Whether or not, and some of the time, the way in which they carry out their sermons are terrible. So Kenya says they want to regulate it. Men of God are saying gang, 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 gang. In Roman Catholic Church, for you to be a priest, you must have undergone seminary formation. In the Baptist Church, seminary formation. Presbyterian Church of Cameroon, seminary formation. The Anglican Catholic Church, seminary formation. There are churches that before you go, you must go seminary formation. But we have churches these days that you just pass any corner is church, and they are singing so violently, extremely. I'm not saying that you should not worship God. There are churches that if you go, you understand that, or at least this one know the respect of the dignity of the human person. To me, churches should be regulated. There should be laws that if you want to open a church, follow this, follow this, follow this. If your church operate on this, follow this, follow this, follow this. If not, a lot of lives have been destroyed by some of the quacks pastors who come and tell you, oh, the Lord has said this, oh, the Lord has said this, oh, the Lord has said this. President Ruto, please, this bill must pass. This bill must pass. Watch a video.
Now, religious leaders across the country have strongly opposed the Religious Organizations Bill 2024, which seeks to regulate places of worship, warning that it could undermine freedom of worship. Speaking in Bungoma, Kisii and in Embu counties, the leaders called for the bill to be withdrawn entirely. As our reporter Miriam Nyambura now reports, a public participation exercise on the draft bill will help determine its next steps.
Debate over the bill to regulate religious organizations continues to stir mixed reactions among faith leaders. In Bungoma County, leaders of the Friends Church from 8 counties condemned the proposal, rejecting the commission formed to review the bill.
Kanisa halihitaji commission ambayo imeundwa na serikali au the state. Kanisa natakiwa liwe na uhuru.
The leaders warned that if the bill is passed, they will take steps to safeguard the churches.
Hii mswada ni ya kuua makanisa, na sisi tunasema we get our power from up there and we are not going to surrender it.
In Embu County, religious leaders echoed similar concerns, urging members of parliament not to debate or pass the bill.
Tungependelea makanisa yetu iongozwe na ambulance ambazo zimeandikishwa, zimekubaliwa na serikali, na kusiangaliwe numbers, atekuwe ambulance zile kubwa zilianja miaka ya zamani ndizo zinatuongoza. Hata zile ambulance kidogo zimeandikishwa kiserikali, hizo situongoze. Kwa sababu sisi wenyewe tunajuana. Tunajua mikora, tunajua watu wale wazuri, tunajua hata kuliko vile serikali inatujua.
In Kisii County, religious leaders insisted that the bill was introduced by politicians with ill intentions against religious institutions.
From 1963 until now, sio kwamba sasa ndio kumeharibika. Kwa hiyo mimi namuomba Mheshimiwa Rais na mawaziri wote na hata wabunge wetu warudie kusoma hiyo bill. I think the bill is not for this country. It could be for a country maybe like Somalia, or we can borrow them. But as for us, allow us to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, like we have done before.
However, the PS in the State Department of National Government Coordination defended the government's position, saying the bill is not intended to control worship, but to prevent tragedies linked to religious extremism.
The government has no any intention of regulating any religious bodies. No. We are only strengthening the process of self-regulation so that we don't have this careless process of losing many lives. And I want to request the religious leaders to support the process.
Religious leaders have raised objections to certain clauses in the Religious Regulations Bill 2024. Among the controversial provisions, an entity must be supported by at least 25 religious organizations professing a common faith to be registered as an umbrella religious organization. Furthermore, every umbrella religious organization is required to submit returns or accounts to the registrar on or before the 31st of July each year. An umbrella religious organization that contravenes this subsection commits an offense and is liable to a fine not exceeding 10 million shillings. Every religious organization and umbrella religious organization is required to furnish annual returns to the authority, including audited accounts for the financial year. The Religious Organizations Bill was drafted following the shocking Shakahola mass deaths by a committee led by Reverend Mutava Musimi. Marian Nyambura, Citizen TV.
Vous êtes le futur de notre société. Vous êtes les leaders de demain. Vous êtes les innovateurs de la prochaine génération. Nous sommes là pour vous aider à réaliser vos rêves et atteindre vos objectifs. Bacheliers, devenez les architectes de votre avenir avec l'Institut universitaire du Golfe de Guinée de Douala.
Since 1993, the University Institute of the Gulf of Guinea, it is 3 higher schools, ESG, ISTA, ISA,